Premium News, proudly sponsored by MTN.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. But baby, how come you never call me? But now with MTN, I have a daily voice bundle. I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby dondolo. MTN voice bundle, yeah yo, baby dondolo. MTN voice bundle, yeah yo, baby dondolo. MTN voice bundle neza bei dondoro okutera network zona tunga dachika 25 arishiringi 10 zonka nyigasta emwe not star ibiri emwe hash otoraneho daily bundle ninga kozesa my MTN app ogambe aha bei dondoro aha kuba kuturi kugamba hamwe twine kizibira MTN enkora n'obushosholeke nibikuratirwa MTN nereberero kitongole cha Uganda Communications Commission.
Abantu nyina bakibale kagadi kakumiro na hadi hona mutabaruke habwokuba tyansika arguza egabude obone baletera mibazi yona eyabuzireyira ikara nogya Kampala manya Kenya manya Dubai nogitoza hati nurekeraho genda bugenda mu batyasika arguza yona emibaze roho okukebera omubiri gwono kamanya na kyorwaire byona byabusa iwo kwenda kukebera computer kwigule ebinywa kandi inyo bakasitoma babo abakuru inyo bakubahereza special care bakusubuza green tea habeya yo musubuzi okuterwa mutwe kuterwa mutima ekiriro liro mubiri kuruma no kuzimba ebigeri ulcers hanija sukari pressure kusanyarara omusujja ogutakira kurumwa mugongo kuruma munda amani geksaija nege kazi toine iwo karwara amaino habokwane ogo kabakuletera mbazi gwa amaino ogubakweta high quality toothpaste bakusemereza buhereza high naiwe buli kya baraza babahunya marunda town council hasanyuka bar and lodge kandi kuruga kya kabiri kya kasatu kya kana kya katano kya mukaga hamuna kya sande babakaruguza ha office zabu enkuru ha muhanda gwa kikada waruga stand big bank hakona house ne kyapa kibahoja kwa nokirora genda akasenti ko gule mibazi niko bakwijanja bokire abukumanya bikiraho baza nabo haziro msanju munana mukaga 13 04 00 na 0740 kenda na 5 10 23 yanshi together we share.
For how Chinese bantu baingi muno ohulira kyansimba hano nkwata hamugongo ekifuba kikuremera oburumi munyingo mu baitu hati wekwata ba for how Chinese bano ni bayijanja banokira kimo ebirwaire no biraga nenkoro yawe yekikugu baine byoma ebya meridian therapy nibikonyera okwigula binywa kutereza emigongo alinywa bakusasa nibakumara mu busasi bona bwino munyingo hati nywa bakuzimbe bigere mugende mubayikire nibakora handwereza maiso nibajanja basukali harusazi okwetaga kusara size okendeza omunyeto gwine oine kizibu kyokusanyarara hamuna inywa abateirwe stroke niba batereza ni mugaruka okurungi muno aba for how Chinese hano mukaruguza basange amuhanda gwa kizizi ogugenda ha vision hakyombeko kyakona house haihine ichundiro lya magiteri yaka opposite Millennium Guest House rundi baterera namba zesimu 0 kinana na mnana msanju na msanju asatu na mnana na 0 nkaga na ibiri kinana na isatu anna nemu for how Chinese hamuno bwijanja byo burungi.
Esaha zikire msanje zeihangwe ohulirize Kdr 10 fama akaire kanu nikakuleterwa
MTN voice bundles ezikutera network zona habei dondoro migasita 10 ibiri emu hash rundo yekonyeza my MTN app okome mu daily bundle habo kuba butukuba zaitwena titukwemerezibwa. MTN Uganda Limited nerolerwa Uganda Communications Commission.
A very good afternoon. It is exactly 1 p.m. My name is Deo Asiimwe. Now, the afternoon bulletin in detail. The National Forestry Authority, NFA, has intensified the campaign to demarcate boundaries of forest reserves in Greater Kibale. Richard Kialisima, the Greater Kibale NFA sector manager, says that government allocated funds to NFA to facilitate the demarcation exercise. He made the revelation while speaking during a stakeholders meeting chaired by the Kagadi resident district commissioner Lilian Duteraho in her office yesterday. Kialisima says so far they have opened boundaries for parts of Kasatu Forest Reserve, Kiamurangi and Kangombe Forest Reserves. He, however, notes that the locals who encroached on the forest reserves have been resisting the demarcation exercise because of not being sensitized about the activity, promising to involve them in the exercise that will be extended to other areas neighboring forest reserves.
Ati government ituhere sente na nabindi bitongole ka USAID na Eco Trust okuleba ngo mulimo gwatamburaje hatarimo enkenyera yona ebira bitushingira muri Kagadi twachimuraho Kagombe egitukajimara twasho twachinguraho yindi twagaruza bindi bibiri muri Kagadi Kasato na Kyamurangi empenda twazicingwire kurunji munonga twatamu ne pirazi barete ngo nebikondo ebirengwa ebihandikigweho ekigambo NFA umuntu niyo kuba ari kuri araza kugumara already arareba gukora aba yunura erata mu road reserves ati nitwe NFA tuteremu ebikondo ebirengwa kandi bihango kugira ngo abantu niyo kuba umuntu ari hari arauka kukimanya ngo yatahamuriza.
In her remarks, the resident district commissioner Kagadi Lilian Duteraho asked residents to embrace the exercise, warning them against further encroachment on the forest reserves.
Omuranga ogunkuteka habataka aitu ateke mpenda na mnonga aitu igura boundary tukajangwe chene chikondo nisha babataka kandi mutataha tahayo abako kumurataha tayo muja kureta baba twariza kubi kandi bitwakubeta kwenda mureka ibate mpenda hagumeziriye mpenda.
Now, away from that, the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development has been asked to come up with a system where vulnerable project-affected persons can run to and resolve their grievances with the oil companies regarding unfair compensations. This was disclosed yesterday in an engagement meeting held at Kabalega Resort Hotel in Hoima City that involved officials from Ministry of Gender, civil society organizations and local government representatives from Chikube, Hoima and Bulisa districts. They were discussing a joint compliance monitoring report of the multi-product pipeline and the eco projects in Hoima, Chikube and Bulisa districts compiled by the Vinyoro Alberta Network for Environmental Conservation Bapeneko Kitson in conjunction with the Ministry of Gender. The main objective of the monitoring activity was to interact with project teams and project affected persons on the pending grievances accumulated to the land acquisition process in the oil and gas sector. Gilbert Tivasima, the Vice Chairperson Bulisa, says issues regarding grievances handling should be investigated, proposing that an independent grievance handling committee be set up for purposes of fairness and equity, saying the process is not fairly handled. He says international oil companies have failed to follow up equity and legitimacy in the process.
And we have proposed that an independent grievance handling committee be set in place for purposes of fairness and equity. Putting that aside, even when you go to the nitty-gritties of the process is not fairly handled. First of all, you know that you are dealing with the illiterate project-affected persons who are the majority of affected people, who do not know to the fullest their rights, and therefore there's need to set in place an independent grievance handling committee that is also representative in nature, with the members of the committee actually representing the project affected persons for purposes of balancing. But the oil companies have avoided them except using the local council one chairpersons.
Bernard Mojuni, a commissioner in the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, says right values for the land should be valued, saying that even intangible properties should be thought about while doing compensation, citing PWDs, culture, identity and voluntary saving associations, among others. He says timely payments should be done since money loses value, adding that they are to continue working with the oil companies to make sure such issues are ironed out.
In terms of assessment, giving the right values for the land and also valuing tangible and intangible properties for the stakeholders. Intangible properties related to culture, identity, memory, the fact that you get social support, for example, for women who get into harvest and they come together and they harvest together. Once you resettle them, that social capital is gone. It has value and you have destroyed it. People with disabilities cannot easily cope up or to maneuver within the surroundings which are very new. And when you are compensating, and they depend so much on community assistance, when you are compensating, you give them a paid up assistance because where they are going is a new area they don't even know. Voluntary savings associations. Once you resettle and split the population, that social capital splits and is destroyed. Yet it has value. So when you are valuing, these are the things you are saying should be put on the table and be compensated.
Now over to Masindi district, a new wave of crime involving iron bar hitmen and stone welding criminals has struck Masindi town, targeting and suspecting victims. This has been revealed by On Kdr, the Masindi Deputy Resident District Commissioner, saying that criminals are using stones and metal bars to assault their targets before robbing them of their valuables. Kdr notes that security operations have led to several arrests, with some suspects already arraigned before court. He commends the community for supporting security agencies in fighting crime, urging them to continue their efforts to overcome the challenge in the area. Kdr has, however, warned parents against allowing their children to attend night functions beyond 6 p.m. for the safety of their lives.
Tuufu disitulikiti yaffe ennaku zino tuli mu kufuna nnyo cases ez'obubbi obw'enjawulo. Reports ezo tuzifunye nnyingi nti ffe ngaffe ebitongole by'ebyokwerinda tetutudde, tuli mu kugezaako okulaba nti tukola ekisoboka okuinvestigatinga cases ezo. Tuli mu kukola operations ekiro, tulina ne arrests tuli okukola, era njagala okubakakasa nti obubbi buno tujja kubutuula ku nfeete. Njagala n'okuwooninga ababbi abali okubwenyigiramu nti ennaku zammwe ziweddeyo. Njagala kubakubiriza abo abasaakaase n'abazadde. Tukimanyi bulungi nti abaana baffe bali mu masomero, therefore nja kubasaba nti bamakinge sure nti abaana abato bwe baba bakuyingira bayingirayo mu budde obutuufu. Saagala kulaba mwana obudde obw'okusoma ng'ate tumusanze mu sakasi. Abakulira ekintu kyammwe ekyo mulina okugobera amateeka. Munabanga temugoberedde mateeka tujja kubaggalawo.
Now, putting that story aside, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission in Uganda, Justice Simon Byabakama Muginyi, has tasked the electoral stakeholders and political players to preach peace, unity and tolerance in divergent views come the electoral season. Speaking during the National Stakeholders Workshop on demarcation of electoral areas and reorganization of polling stations yesterday, Byabakama said all stakeholders should play a proactive role in ensuring peaceful and credible elections. He calls on stakeholders to mobilize, sensitize, inform and update their communities about their responsibilities in the upcoming elections. Justice Simon Byabakama highlights the importance of promoting peace and unity, stressing that these efforts are crucial for maintaining harmonious electoral processes. The workshop covered phases in the demarcation and reorganization of polling stations, providing stakeholders with detailed insights into the critical activities.
You are still listening to KDR News Broadcast. This is the news on the international scene.
Now, for the news on the international scene, Iran Hamas's political chief Ismail Haniyeh has been assassinated in Iran's capital Tehran, according to a statement from the group. That governs Gaza, which blames Israel for his death. Haniyeh and one of his bodyguards were killed after a building where they were staying was struck, the statement says, adding that Haniyeh was in Tehran to attend the inauguration ceremony of the Iranian president Mansour Pezeshkian yesterday. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has also announced Haniyeh's death, saying that the attack is under investigation. According to the media reports, the Hamas leader was killed when an airborne guided projectile hit a special residence for military veterans in the north of Tehran, at which he was staying about 2 a.m. today morning. Israel has remained silent on Haniyeh's death, with media there reporting that the office of the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has ordered cabinet ministers not to comment. However, Heritage Minister Amihai Eliyahu has celebrated the Hamas leader's death on social media platform X, saying that the killing makes the world a little better. Israel launched a war in Gaza, promising to eliminate Hamas and kill its leaders after the group attacked Israel on 7th of October this year, killing 1,200 people and taking more than 200 others captive. The listener, it is 13 minutes past 1 p.m. As I wind up the newscast, a quick look on the top stories once more. NFA steps up efforts to demarcate forest reserves in Greater Kibale. Masindi town grapples with new wave of iron bar attacks. Electoral Commission chairperson Byabakama calls stakeholders to promote peaceful elections, and Hamas political chief Ismail Haniyeh assassinated in Iran. That's it. My name is Deo Asiimwe. I wish you the best of your Wednesday afternoon and a good afternoon.
From all over the world, local, regional, national and international, Kdr FM brings you all the stories. Kdr FM News, world's proudly sponsored by MTN.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. But baby, how come you never call me? But now with MTN, I have a daily voice bundle. I'll call you every day. Yeah, yo, baby, don't dolo. MTN voice bundle. Yeah, yo, baby, don't dolo. MTN voice bundle. Yeah, yo, baby, don't dolo.
MTN voice bundle neza bei dondoro okutera network zona tunga dakika 25 arshiringi 10 zonka nyigasta emwe not star ibiri emwe hash otoraneho daily bundle ninga kozesa my MTN app ogambe aha bei dondoro aha kuba kuturi kugamba hamwe twine kizibira MTN enkora n'obushosholeke nibikuratirwa MTN nerebera ekitongole kya Uganda Communications Commission. Abantu nyina bakibale Kagadi Kakumiro na hadi hona mutabaruke habwokuba tyansika ruguza egabude obone baletera mibazi yona eyabusireira ikara nogya Kampala manya Kenya manya Dubai nogitoza hati nolekeraho genda mu batyansika ruguza yona emibaze roho okukebera omubiri gwono kamanya na kyorwaire byona byabusa iwe kwenda kukebera computer kwigula ebinywa kandi inyo bakasitoma babo abakuru inyo bakubahereza special care bakusubuza green tea habeya yo musubuzi okuterwa mutwe kuterwa mutima ekiriro liro mubiri kuruma no kuzimba ebigeri ulcers hernia sukari pressure kusanyarara omusujja ogutakira kurumwa mugongo kuruma munda amani gekisajja nage kazi toine iwo karwara amaino habokwa niyo boka bakuletera mbazi gwa amaino ogubakweta high quality toothpaste bakusemereza buhereza high na iwe buli kya baraza babahunya marunda town council hasanyuka bar and lodge kandi kuruga kya kabiri kya kasatu kya kana kya katanu kya mukaga hamuna kya sande babakaruguza ha office zabwe nkuru ha muhanda gwa kikada waruga ha stand big bank hakona house ne kyapa kibahoja kwa no kirora genda bugenda akasenti ko gule mibazi niko bakwijanja bokire abukumanya bikiraho baza nabo hazira musanju munana mukaga 13 04 00 na 0 musanju 40 kenda na 5 10 23 yanshi together we share.
For how Chinese bantu baingi muno ohulira kyansimba hano nkwata hamugongo ekifuba kikulemera oburumi munyingo mu baitu hati wekwata ba for how Chinese bano ni bayijanja banokira kimo ebirwaire no biraga nenkoro yawe yekikugu baine byoma ebya meridian therapy nibikonyera okwigula ebinywa kutereza emigongo alinywa bakusasa nibakumara mu busasi bona bwino munyingo hati nywa bakuzimbe bigere mu